So Wednesday, the 18th of whenever, the 18th of February, Sun moves into Pisces. I know. Sun moves into Pisces. We've got the new moon, annular solar eclipse in Aquarius. Stuff's going on, and and then we're coming up from Mercury retrograde in Pisces, which is something like this. And then also weird stuff is happening. So I met a friend yesterday for coffee, which was nice. I don't get to do that very often. And I can't remember who we were talking about, but she said, because she's clever, that's like nominative determinism. And I'm like, time to get this out, okay? So she then later on sent me the wiki definition thing. Nominative determinism is the hypothesis. I thought you lot would like this. It's our thing. That people tend to gravitate towards areas of work or interest that fit their names. The term was first used in New Scientist in 1994 after the magazine's humorous feedback column noted several scientific studies carried out by researchers with remarkably fitting surnames. These included a book on polar exploration by Daniel Snowman and an article on urology by researchers Splatt and Whedon. That is quite good. These and other examples led to light-hearted speculation that some sort of psychological effect was at work. Since the term appeared, nominative determinism has been an irregularly recurring topic in New Scientists as readers continue to submit examples. Nominative determinism differs from the related concept of the aptronym, A-P-T-R-O-N-Y-M, keep that in mind because we're coming back to it, and the Latin idea of nomen est omen, the name is a sign, in that it focuses on causality. An aptronym merely means that the name is fitting without saying anything about why it has come to fit. So, you know, oops, what was that? That was my phone. I've been mulling this over, my brain mulls, and then I was like looking at this, thinking we're going to do a bit of this. Frankly, there was some anagrams, impressive ones, all sorts of stuff, but I didn't think I'd have the minerals to actually read them out, so I thought flip over. And next thing I know, it's aptronyms. I know. Now, is that just like, it's weird, isn't it? You don't hear it, then my friend happens to say it, and she's clever, but it's a weird thing to say, and then she sends it me. I'm like, I'll look it up for the channel, and then I open the book and it's this, aptronyms. When someone's name seems curiously fitting to their job, it's an aptronym. Also a eunym. While aptronyms can be a source of mirth, some psychologists believe one's name can influence one's life choices, a theory known as nominative determinism. How many times does that want to crop up in 24 hours then? 17th century Puritans who named children after the cardinal virtues hope, charity, faith and so on believed this too. And there's now evidence that sometimes it can happen. Oh God, that's hilarious. There's some really funny ones. I'm going to have a look. I'm going to do some cards, and then tomorrow I'm going to I'm going to tell you the hilarious names. It's a bit like, did you ever used to get this? I've probably told you this before. A bit like when you get the joke magazines. When you were little, did you ever get those? I was obsessed with those because we didn't, you know, in our day, we didn't really have the internet. We didn't really have a lot. We were bored shitless, weren't we, all at home? And I had a lot of pen pals and the Beano. I loved writing letters and talking to people, and I wanted to connect. And I used to get these joke magazines. I can't imagine it now, really. And they were like full of puzzles. And, you know, build your own mask or something like that, and stories and all that. And then there was one that was called Announcements, which I really loved, and it was a bit like that. and it was just a sort of picture of a ballroom or something, and then the butler, you know, like the guy off Downton Abbey, Carson, would say, Mr. Umpton Biggenhorn Tilsley and her lady whatever, and then they'd make jokes out of the names, which is a bit like they're doing. And I used to read that for hours. I don't know, did anybody else used to get those? Anyway, in honour of Pisces, we're doing the Ocean Oracle. We haven't had a fade for ages, have we? I must go back to that. Must speak to the boys, see if we can bring back the Top of the Pops 1980s fade. Okay, let's get on with the cards, because truth be told, I've got some biscuits in the oven, and that's not a euphemism. I've got, and if anybody wants to make these, I don't know if I've told you about them already, because I can't remember anything at the moment. Oh God, there's an Amazon man there. Tim Spector's pecan chocolate chip cookies. Can I recommend them if you are looking, and I mean, who's really looking for anything healthy? I suppose I am. I'm trying, because, you know, obviously I've got my obsession with booges and whatnot. I'm also trying to make sweet treats that might be lower GI and all that stuff. And they are that, definitely. You can find the, you can Google the recipe. It will just tell you it's out there on the Tinter Bob. It's in his book, but it's also out there on the internet. And they're good. You know how normally you make a healthy biscuit or a healthy something and it just tastes like a slab of something, you know? You're just like, there's a reason that I want to go and quaff 3 Mars ice cream bars or whatever. These are better, but they're bloody expensive ingredients. Anyway, on with it. So, this is interesting, because it's very Piscean, actually. We get the Seagull. I saw one of these today. I see them most days, actually. Because today this morning, sat on, we have metal benches, which are just horrible, aren't they? Because they're either boiling, because it's sunny, or they're freezing, or they're wet. Anyway, sat on a metal bench with my mum waiting for a bus. It doesn't get more normal than that, does it? And she had a sausage roll. And I have to say, if you come to the UK, sausage rolls are good. Don't look at the ingredients. They are not healthy in any way, shape or form, okay? I'm just saying. But if you're cold and the sausage roll is hot and flaky, ecstasy. Anyway, so you can't drop any crumbs because I live in a city of seagulls. There we go. Opportunities await. Swing. Now I'm really feeling this energy, but it's messy. And we talked about this yesterday. It's like opportunities, schmopportunities, little bit of a thing here, a flash of awareness there, an annoyance here. Remember you had the 5 of Wands and we were talking like parking tickets and all of that stuff. That still stands. But Piscean energy, which is where we're coming into, is very much an energy of falling into something right, coincidence and happenstance, and that sort of Neptunian, you know, I was floating and then I bobbed up here, and what do you know, sort of manifesting, messy manifesting underwater, that kind of thing. I know. And this is something that Piscean energy will make you struggle even more with than maybe we struggle already, especially for the empaths. Boundaries. And I always say that this is what a Piscean boundary looks like. It's a sea rope, liable to fray, kind of barnacly and a little bit weirdly knotted and swaying around a little. Ta-da! We also have seaweed. You are protected. So the Piscean energy is very protective. But, and I've said this a million times before, but the late great Jonathan Caner, whose nephew now runs the Jonathan Caner thing, I always remember he used to say about Pisces that there is this sort of weird safety net protection as you sort of leap and lollop and fall off and splot or whatever, that you kind of, if you believe in it, you find the things that inspire you better, you find the opportunities that await. And then and I love a swimming polar bear, they just look so good when they're like, I mean, they don't really particularly make that, they're more like that, but they just have a very good front crawl, unlike me, who has a very bad front crawl. And as I've told you, I have old lady swimming with my hair and eyes out of the water, which probably does me absolutely no good. So we do have blessings. So if we look at the cards, let's hope this works. Well, it does kind of seeing half the floor really, but never, I haven't put that box back yet either. Look, I'm still in the top right. Do check out the pick a card reading, by the way, that reminds me. It's a shadow one. It's, I have to say this, it's bloody good. Anyway, so yeah, there we have opportunities and blessings. And then in the middle of that sandwich, we have boundaries, healthy boundaries, and you are protected. But just remember that all of it will be like falling into an aquarium. Incredibly interesting, but a little full of drama. I'll see you tomorrow. Namaste.